My name is Kirk and I am the student pastor here. I want to start by asking you a question. Do you remember what it was like whenever you were a teenager? Do you remember the anxiety, the pressures of homework, or the thoughts that you weren't going to have enough food in the house? You know, our teenagers today are facing some crazy circumstances in today's culture. For example, 68% of teenagers are going to feel overwhelmed by what they have to do this week. And this past year, 3 million adolescents have experienced a major depressive episode. You know, what if there was an adult that was willing to step in to the chaos of their life and say, you know what, I want to love you and I want to point you to Jesus. And that's what you have the opportunity to do today by saying yes to the student ministry. Whenever you say yes to the student ministry, you're saying yes to connecting them with a person, a place, and a purpose. What does it mean whenever we say place? We want students to experience the Realm as more than just a cool building with great snacks and exciting things to do. But more than that, we want them to make memories made at the Realm, to be about the time spent engaging with their peers, leaders, serving and worshiping God and growing their faith. When we say we want students to connect with the person we ultimately want them to connect with is Jesus Christ. But they begin to learn who Jesus is through relationships with our mentors. You know, our mentors get to be the hands and feet of Jesus when they care for and invest in students. So every text, every card, every game, every event that they attend helps them know that they are seen and valued to our church. Finally, we want students to connect with a purpose. You know, through our mentors spending time with students, they can encourage and challenge our students to live out their calling and mobilize their faith to reach every man and woman and child with the gospel. Church, I believe that Jesus believed in young teenagers. In fact, I believe he was one of the first student youth leaders. You see evidence of the disciples being young teenagers by Matthew chapter 17. When the disciples come into Capernaum and the issue of temple tax arises, who are the only two that pay temple tax? That's Jesus and Peter. And so if you understand the cultural context of that and you look at cross-reference that with Exodus chapter 30, those who pay temple tax are 20 years and up. So if you think about it, Jesus had a group of teenage men with only one adult volunteer and one really rotten child. But you know what? I believe Jesus, just like he used those young men to radically change the world with the gospel, that wants to use our teenagers today to do the exact same thing. You know, when you say yes to students, you're not just saying yes to being a chaperone, you're saying yes to being a shepherd. You know, whenever you say yes to students, you're not saying, yes, I don't want to show up just on a Sunday, but you're saying, I want to be a part of your Monday through Saturday. That you want to love students and you want to point them to Jesus, and every time you meet with them, you care about what's going on in their life. So would you just pray? Pray and ask, is this the time where you're going to step in and say yes to students and say yes, that you want to be used by God in a mighty way? Because I believe that the students are not the next generation of the church, they are the church today. And I'm excited for what God's going to use them in our own church. Thank you guys so much. God bless.